3-count hustle. We did some music, and then we just had our walkthrough. And now we're going to demonstrate and talk about some hustle styling points. In particular, when we did that advanced walkthrough just now, we went through some of the things kind of quickly, and they certainly could have been analyzed further, but we sort of decided to wait until we got to the styling points, because maybe a step is done 6 times during the routine, and rather than discuss it 6 times, let's just discuss it once here in the styling, and what we do here will apply then to that routine, okay? Now, let's talk about turns, right and left turns. Well, maybe we'll start with the left turns, since they don't seem to change rhythm so much. And let's start off with our very basic turn, a 3-count left turn, and that would be like a loop turn. 1, 2, and 3. That's the turn. All right, let's see what the footwork is on a left turn as we go. This is what we would teach. The count of 1, we take a quarter turn to the left. We step back with another quarter turn on the left foot. We stepped on the right, now we're back on the left, and then we go rock, rock, and 3. Let's do that, Christina. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. Get our turn over 2 steps. 1, 2. Now that was our 3-count basic left turn. Now let's do a 3-count 1.5 left turn. A 3-count 1.5 left turn. And that would be 1, 2, and 3. That is it right there. And then just exit with a throw out. Now let's see what that step consists of. That is a quarter turn on the count of 1 on the right foot, stepping to the side. And now a 3/4 turn going forward on the left foot on the count of 2. A quarter turn landing to the side on the right foot on the count of and then back here in place on the count of 3. Now if it's like this, that was our basic foot styling. If you bring your foot together and then surge forward, that would be the advanced foot styling. All right, that's our 3-count 1.5 left turn. Now let's do a 6-count 2.5 left turn, and that would be, for instance, a step like this: 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now what that step consisted of was, now I don't think I'll analyze them quarter, 3/4, because now you know that they're all going to be like that. This will be 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's the breakdown. Will you do that for us? It's 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now, also a 6-count left turn can be done in 3.5 left turns, as we did in the routine before. That was a step that went like this: 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6, like that. Now, I won't analyze that because it's the quarter and the etc., etc. Want to walk through that for us, please? It's 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, that is our 6-count 3.5 left turn. Then we have one more left turn variation that the girl does, and we called this before the advanced left turn. And that went like this: 1, 2, and 3. So instead of the girl being turned and getting her turn on the count of 1, she's going to go straight, and turn on and 3, like that. Now, we call it an advanced left turn. Maybe you'd like a name like basic left turn variation. I was thinking about that. Putting basic left turn variation.
Another possibility.
Well, okay, that takes care of our left turns. Now let's do our right turns, and we have about 5 possibilities there. Now a right turn would be 1, 2, and 3. That's our arch turn. The breakdown on that is simply straight on the count of 1, a quarter turn on the count of 2, another quarter turn as you rock back on and then in place on the left foot. We'll do this first. It's 1, 2, and 3. All right? Now, right up the line, the next thing, just like the left turn, we want to go to a 1.5 right turn. But we discover we cannot do this in 3 counts. We can't do a 1.5 right turn in 3 counts. So therefore, we have to use the 4 counts, and that's why we use it. And let's see what that consists of. The step would be 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And that pattern would be 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Want to do that for us? 1, 2, and 3, and 4. I have a lot of use for that step. We use that quite a few times in the routine. And we use it because you have to use 4 counts on it. All right? Now our our next step would be a 6 count, 2.5. We did the 1.5 we just did, now we come up to 2.5, and that needs 6 counts. And we're going to keep the rhythm on that. That's going to be 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, you want to demonstrate that for us? 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6. So it would work out the same way with the straight and quarter and the 3/4 turn, etc. All right. Now, actually, we have used this extra step because we say that's the conventional turn, the 6 count, 2.5 turn. But we prefer, because it's more exciting, that's a simple reason, we prefer to do it in 5 counts. And so the step would be not 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6, but 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. Want to do that for us? And by the way, that is leadable. See, if I give a soft lead, and the girl is a good hustle dancer, she'll stay right on the rhythm. But even a good hustle dancer, if I spin her like that, she has no choice but to go right into the rhythm, into the 5 count rhythm. Okay, we going to demonstrate that? Okay, it's 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. All right, that's our 5. Then we have one more thing, and we did this before, and that was the gentleman on his right turn. He can do, we call it the advanced right turn. Maybe we're going to change that to basic right turn variation. In fact, I think we shall, as of now. All right, now we're going to go 1, 2, and 3. That's what he did. Instead of turning in the beginning, he sort of slides by the girl like this and gets his turn on the end. All right, that takes care of all of our turns. Now let's go to another thing. Let's see about hand holds. Let's see what these are. This we agreed was a one-hand hold left to right, one-hand hold right to left to right, left to left. When we get into skating positions, we seem to get into a cross-hand position like this. We happen to call this right to right over left to left. We would call this left to left over right to right. Then we have positions like this, and we call this right to right over left basket weave. Now if we did a 5 count turn like this, we find the girl would be getting into just the opposite, left over right basket weave, which might lead to a step like this. Okay, that's our different hand holds. Now, well, here's a thought on styling, is that when we're dancing, we tend to keep our hands up here. The hands tend to stay up in a high position instead of working down here, you see? Now, for instance, in a skating step, if I brought Christina in, when I send her out, I keep my hands up here. Like, instead of doing a step like this and coming down here. No? And as a result of this, the girl works a little bit closer to me. You see, I can't establish this picture window position with the hands up if she as soon as she goes back, naturally the hands would come down like that. So we're working a little bit closer together, like this. All right, another step we do with the hands up, for instance, like a loop turn. Or let's see, a loop turn after a close. Suppose we did this. Now a conventional way might be like this, just dropping the hand down. But what we try to do is keep our hands up. One, just like this, staying up, like that. Makes for a prettier position, prettier line. Maybe another point about talking about being up, maybe body position. When we're dancing, we tend to dance up, rather than dancing down like in boogie or rock and roll or Latin dancing, we're dancing down into the floor. This, we're getting nice posture, we're sort of up like that, so we're getting our body up. It's sort of balletic, isn't it? Would you say?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. How about foot styling? See, that's foot styling. Oh yes, this is cool with that briefly. We did that before. We agreed that instead of going 1, 2, and 3, which we do in our basic, we go together forward. Together forward. And let's see what the girl's footwork is. She goes 1, 2. Instead of landing on the toe with that rigid ankle we talked about, she tends to let her foot flatten down and come off slightly angled like this. You want to do that for us a couple of times? 1, 2, and 3. You want to do it in from a right turn. I think it's more comfortable. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. That's it. I see you don't settle down. You're up on your toe still. You stay on your toe on that, okay? Because I've seen some of them do it, and they settle down. They get this sort of a look to them. All right. That was our foot styling. Now let's talk a little bit about music, I guess. Okay, music. Now, when we do 1, 2, 3, 4 in our basic, Well, we're right in the phrasing. We're right with the music. The bar of music has 4. That makes it easy. However, when we do 1, 2, and 3, and we count another 1, well, we're starting there on an offbeat. So somebody would say, hey, I don't feel I'm with the music, and they're really not. You go 1, 2, and 3, you're on the music there, and off the music here. One way of getting around that is to not count from 3, but count 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6. So the 4 represents the upbeat on the music, but you don't think that's not really a start. That would be like the middle of a step, like a foxtrot or a lindy that is in 6 count, or something like some dance that's in 6. This is done the same way. If we think 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we're in phrasing then if we take it in counts of 6 instead of in counts of 3. Maybe quickly, let's see, analyze this rhythm. Let's see, we talked about 1, 2, and 3, and we could count it slow, quick, quick, slow, which implies when we do that we're going a quarter note here, an 8th note here, an 8th note there, and a quarter note there. And that's the way we actually teach it. We'd just as soon the student figured that's what it was. But if you really thought about this, you would find that this movement is just like the samba being 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Slow and slow, slow and slow. And we don't teach this or even mention it to the students, but just for our own knowledge, let's be aware that this then is really a quarter note. This step is what they call a dotted 8th note, which means you take half of the 8th note, add it together, and what do you get? On that foot you get something 3/16 of a note. This is a 16th of a note, and that's a quarter note. So it might be called slow, slow, and slow, like a samba. But that would be much too confusing to talk to students about. But then we're happy just to go 1, 2, and 3, or slow, quick, quick, slow, or step, cha, cha, cha. Any rhythm like that would get them thinking in terms of how to move. All right. How about our wrist break? That's the step we did a few times there, the wrist break. Now, we prepare for the wrist break by going into a right-to-right hold. And as we start the step, we reach over and take the girl's left hand, and now she's going to do continuous spins, although once again this could be done in 6-count rhythm. We prefer to do it in that quick rhythm. All quicks for the girl. And she goes, bum, 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 bum. Now the object of this, to make it attractive, is to keep the hands together over the girl's head. Once you start doing the step like this, well, there's no illusion created there. Everyone can see what is happening. And of course, what is happening is that the right hand continuously holds the girl's head. The left to left breaks across her wrist. That's what's happening. So we're getting 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. But the object, anyway, is to, as we tried to do in the routine, was to keep the right to right here and let the left break across the wrist. Now, when we would do the left wrist break, left turn, just the opposite would be true. The left hand would be held over the right hand, left to left over right to right, and we would get this. The left continues to hold, the right hand is released and breaks across the wrist, like that. Okay, those are our wrist breaks. All right, we did quite a few waist turns. This is a very popular step. Everybody does these. But we brought Christine in like this. Now the waist turn. Now on this, she's going to take a 1.5 left turn, finishing up down there. I'm going to finish not here, but over here, a second later. So we're like this. And I'm going to take her waist as it transfers to here, and it's going to be 1, 2, and 3. So I guide her with my left and catch her again with my right. Suppose I do that again. 1, 2, and 3. Now as we exit, she's going to drop her hands, and I extend my arms to reach out and catch hers. Now that would be a regular waist turn. Now a one-hand waist turn, a left-hand waist turn, I start her off the same way, but I never catch her again with my right hand. I go 1, 2, and 3. Now my left hand is holding her back, and then I turn to the right as she comes out like that. You did a turn on that, okay. Sometimes she just does actually a turn is possible. Let's do it again. 1, 2, and 3. She's just going to do a basic throw out, a left turn as she exits. Okay, let's do another waist turn, and this will be with a two-hand hold. 1, 2, and 3, a two-hand hold. Then I flick my fingers, that's going to make her do a 1.5 left turn, 1, 2, and 3. I reach over and catch her. She does a basic throw out and drops her hands behind my neck. All right, that was the waist turn. Now let's just one more point of styling. Let's talk again about the turn styling and how that worked. And for the right turns, you went in a clockwise. Let's see, that was that's the left turn you're taking. Let's do the right. That's the right turn, and you're moving in a clockwise circle. Let's see. Right turns I always figured was counterclockwise. Let's see. Here's our turns. We're going to go like this. It's 1, 2. Yes, there's a left turn that goes counterclockwise. Right turns are clockwise. Yes. Let's do your right turn. And you went. Now I made an error before. When I taught it, I went back. Actually, the girl goes forward first. She goes forward, side, back, side. 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6. So she goes forward, side, back, side. 1, 2, and 3. And what kind of a circle were you going in? Clockwise circle. So in right turns, the girl goes in a clockwise circle. Now the left turns was 1, 2, and 3, and we agreed that this one was side, back, and not to the side, but together for a half turn and then forward. So it was side, it was straight back, it was a half turn to here and just straight forward. And let's see, that isn't what you're doing. 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right. Okay, that's all our styling points. Very fine.